All right. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Psychic Intuitive Playground. My name is Melanie. If you haven't seen me before, then you're probably not on the first video and you should go back and watch that shit. But otherwise, here we are. So today we're going to explore something really important, the psychic senses that you were born with. And you're probably already using them more than you realize. We talked about in the last episode how intuition is not something that you have to force. It's not something you have to figure out. It's just there. It's just there. You're born with it. Whether you realize it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you even believe it or not, it is there. It's there. So today we're going to kind of break down how your intuition actually speaks to you, how it works. And it works through something called the clairs. You might have heard that talked about before. You might hear terms like clairvoyance, clairaudience, and thought, oh, that's just for psychic and medium people or things you see in the movies. But it's not. The truth is that you already have the clair senses. You were born with them. Surprise, if you don't know already. You just haven't been taught to recognize them yet, which is insane. So many other useless things were taught, but not that. So clair literally just means clear in French. And these are just the different ways that your energy and your body and your soul and your spirit are sending you intuitive information. So let's break them down. We have the five psychic the five psychic senses called the clairs. I'm just shooting this one take. What you get, that's what you get. So let's break that down. So I want you, as I explain these, to try to think about which one feels the most familiar to you. See if you resonate with any of them, you recognize them, you might be like, oh my God, right? So the most common one that we hear about is clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. This is when you receive intuitive information through images, through visions, symbols, colors, mental movies. You might get flashes of pictures when you meet someone or see images in your mind during meditation. It's usually not like a movie screen, like on a screen that's outside of you. It's more subtle, like imagining something, but without trying to imagine something. Yeah. So like, if you're imagining a conversation you had yesterday, right? You can picture it in your head. Most people, I know that there's a thing called aphantasia where you cannot. That's okay. But if you're like, say you're imagining a conversation you had yesterday, blah, 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 right? You're using your imagination. You can picture that in your mind. That is the same space that clairvoyance takes up. That's the same place you would see a clairvoyant message, except that you wouldn't be intentionally trying to imagine something. It would just pop up there. Okay. Then there's also clairaudience. We will dig into these more specifically in future videos, so don't worry about that. I'm just kind of going through them fairly quickly right now. Clairaudience is clear hearing. It's intuitive hearing. So you might hear messages inside your mind, like a thought that doesn't come in your own voice. I will say, though, that sometimes it can come in your own voice. And a way to realize that it is not just you thinking is that it would not be a thought that you would have had. Like it doesn't sound like the way that you would speak, even if it sounds like your voice. Maybe it's a thought or an idea or words that you're like, I don't even know how I knew that. Like, how can I say that to myself if I never had that information to begin with? That's a thing. Okay. You might hear a word, a phrase, a song. My husband, who's also on this channel, is really big at picking up on songs that have messages in them, lyrics that pop into your head at like just the right moment that have messages in them. Sometimes spirit has a real good sense of humor, so watch out for that. It's very not as serious as you might think. Okay, so that's clairaudience. It's where you're hearing. Now, you won't hear it with your ears. Some people will, but clairaudience is not just hearing with your ears, I should say. You're hearing it in your mind. Like when you think thoughts, when you think words to yourself, that's what clairaudience tends to come in sounding like. So a lot of people, they expect to hear things with their ears or see things with their eyes, and some people do, but that's not really the main way that it comes in for most people, which is why a lot of people miss the fact that they're actually receiving messages because they're expecting to see it in a certain way and they're getting it in a different way. Okay. Then you have clairsentience, which is clear feeling. Okay. This is huge for a lot of people. If you are an empath, you are clairsentient. That is how you pick up on information, is you feel it, whether it's physically feeling in your body. Maybe grandma has a bum knee and every time you're around her, your knee hurts. Maybe you go by a stranger and some part of your body hurts. That would be physically clairsentient. But usually it's emotionally. We pick up on the emotions in people around us. Sometimes if you're close with somebody, and they're not around you, but you can still feel what they're feeling from like miles away. That's a thing. It's the ability to feel other people's emotions or the energy of a space. Like, you ever walk into a room and you're just like, what the heck just happened here? You can just feel it, the tension. You can, get an idea that something just happened. So without being told anything, you just, something's wrong, right? So you walk into the room and you feel the tension, or you hug somebody maybe, and you suddenly feel like super depressed or super energized, or like something that you weren't feeling before. That is clairsentience. There's also claircognizance, which is clear knowing. Most people, I feel like, have some form of claircognizance. Some people it's stronger than others, but this is when you just know something like instantly, with no evidence, no reason to know that, no logic to it. You just know. You don't know how you know. You just know. It's like some sort of information just drops into your mind, fully formed, like a fully formed thought. And sometimes it can be really frustrating because your logical mind wants to argue with it. You're like, that can't be right, right? Because you don't know how you know that or why you think that. So you have no evidence for it. So we tend to throw that out, but don't do that. Okay. Your soul knows. Your soul knows that's the answer. Then there's some more minor clairs that are kind of odd. So there's clairaudience and clairgustance. Okay, so that's clear smelling and clear tasting. They're a little more rare, but they're definitely real. So you might smell your grandma's perfume when nobody's there. You might smell something that for no reason and it goes away in a strange place. You might taste something, maybe grandma's pie that she used to make when she was still around, with some sort of memory or spirit connection. It's all part of the way that your intuition is speaking to you, is letting you know there's some sort of energy. Everybody does have a dominant clair. Think of it like like being really good at math, but not very good at English, right? So everybody's kind of got a strong subject, a strong clair, and you can strengthen the ones that are not your strong suits. Just like you can, if you're not good at math, you can take more math classes and get good at math. So it's just like any other muscle, any other what's the word, a subject, right? You can practice and you can get better at the ones that are not your strongest. But if you're new to this, the best thing to do is figure out what is your strongest, so you can start there. There's usually one or two, sometimes more, that feels stronger just naturally. Kind of like how you might be a more visual learner or more emotional or more logical in your everyday life. Your psychic senses are kind of tuned in differently too. And that's perfectly normal. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and that's fine. And you can grow, like I said, you can grow and expand them even more as you work on them. So we're going to play a little bit right now. I want you to close your eyes for just a minute, just, humor me. Now imagine that you're standing on a beautiful path in nature, and you can feel the sun on your face. You can hear a gentle breeze moving through the trees. You can smell fresh earth and flowers. You see the path stretching out in front of you. You see the trees. You see the colorful flowers. What part of that scene feels the strongest to you? You can sit with it if you want, right? So you're standing on this beautiful path in nature. Can you feel the sun on your face? Can you hear the leaves moving in the trees? Can you hear the birds chirping? Can you smell the earth? Can you smell the flowers? Can you see the trees, the flowers, the path, the grass? Can you feel the wind blowing on your skin? Okay. Which part of that feels the strongest to you? Did you see it the most clearly? Did you hear it the most clearly? Did you feel it in your body or maybe your emotions? Did you just know it was there without the sensory detail? That would be more claircognizance. Okay. So you can try that again too, outside of this video, if you want a minute. You can picture any scene you want and see what sense picks up the strongest. And that gives you a hint at which of your psychic senses is the strongest for you. That would be your strongest intuitive channel. And listen, there is no right or wrong here. Your strongest might actually shift over time. That's definitely happened to me. You might even open up to several at once, especially if you're new to this. You're not broken if one feels stronger than others. Maybe you don't even notice one at all. That's okay. You're not failing if you don't see crystal clear visions today or ever, really. Some people, that's just not their thing. That's perfectly fine. You're learning to speak your soul's language again. And so it can take a little bit. It's okay. It takes patience. It takes playing with it. It takes trusting it, which is, I think, the hardest part for most people. In the next episodes, we're going to dive deeper into each of these clairs one by one, and I'll teach you different ways that you can strengthen them, play with your psychic senses. And for today, I just want you to notice your intuition. Notice what it's trying to show you. Notice what you receive most strongly, even if you don't recognize messages or anything else, right? Just which senses do you work with most strongly? Listen for things, feel for things, look for things, all of that stuff, right? And trust that it's there. Work on trusting that it's already there. If you're excited to explore more, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss the next Intuitive Playground session. And tell me in the comments, which Clair do you think is your strongest right now? Which one would you like to work on? I'm so excited to see what is starting to wake up for you. And remember that you're not here to learn intuition. You're here to remember it. Remember it because it's there. It always has been. And you're doing it one tiny little spark at a time. Okay, so thanks for being here. And I can't wait to see you in the playground next time.